Now what we need to look into, if there's something takeaways, key takeaways other than what we have studied. First and foremost, what the HNIs do that. Many of us having a stock portfolio, but 99% of the people, we do not know that under SLBM on NSC and BSC, you can lend. I'm not saying sell. I'm saying lend. You can lend your stocks. So what you're doing, you're lending your stocks for 30 to 45 days for fixed income or BSC and NSC. And what does this mean? And I have taken a data for Friday. If you have 10 lakh of investments, for example, we're talking about 27th of July. This is 27th of July 24. Match date September. Days are 40 days. So this is a 40 days period. If you have an SBI card stock holding, or you are having a Syngene, or you are having an AU Small Finance Bank, or LTTS, Larsen and Toubro Technology Services, or M&M Financial Services, अगर 10 लाख के stocks पड़े हुए हैं, you will be getting an annualized yield. मतलब you lend these stocks for 40 days, you will be getting 15,000 as a fixed return over and above your capital gains, bonus, dividend, so on and so forth. So this is a free income that you will be getting technically on your stocks being lent. Then this is then is the EU Small Finance Bank and all. Now the point you should be asking is, if you are a stock investor and you have been investing in stock for last 10 years and you are attached with your financial advisor or an agent or a banker, and you don't know about it, then I think it is a time that you need to switch over to from your financial advisor or the banker for that matter, because then you are not getting the actual information that you should be getting. So this is one thing. So you can lend your stocks for 40, 50 days. Now these lending can go, this is just 2 or 3 stocks I mentioned, but you can see 23, 24, 25% of the returns also coming. Not only this, but Dr. Lal Path Labs, IRCTC, SBI Bank for that matter, Escorts for that matter. These are the companies where we keep on seeing such opportunities coming up. So if you are an investor who is having a stock portfolio but is not a trader, कि भाई मैंने stock लेके रखे, I'm just keeping it with me, I don't want to sell it, but you can lend it for 40 days and you can have a free income coming on to it. The second thing that an HNI or ultra HNI does is they invest in pre-IPO. So normally what we do.
Rajat, if you'll permit a question, is this income
Yes, sir.
taxable? The one I
Yes, sir. This
lending.
will. Yes, sir. Since the rate of interest is determined before only, because when you are lending it, you already are knowing how much you are earning. So it is not speculative. So it is known you are lending at say 14%. So it will be taxed at your income tax slab. At your income tax slab. But okay, let me tell you this way. So if you are earning 15,000, which actually you are not earning. So even after having 15,000, you are paying, say, for example, 5,000 tax, but still 10,000 is extra over and above we are getting it. But government tax it because this is a guarantee. And the beauty is this data you can see on NSE website. So this data is available on NSE website. The irony is that the banker will not tell you, because I will tell you, because if you are having a Zerodha, no, Zerodha will charge you 10 trading, for example. So as much churning that you want to do. But if you have lend your stock for 40 days, anyways, you are not trading it. So what is the money they will make? They will make money only once you are lended. They will not make money otherwise. So therefore, no, whether it is Zerodha or HDFC or ICICI Securities, nobody provides it on your mobile app or even on a login. So what boutique wealth firms or a HNI, the wealth firms who manage portfolios of HNI, what they do, we have a trading desk here. The traders check the portfolio and the investors who are not the traders. So we call them up. Okay, sir, you are having say Syngene or you are having say Sun Pharma. So there is an opportunity that has come for lending it. Do you want to lend it? I don't want to sell the stock. I don't need money. You can lend it for 40 days. If they say okay, then we place the transaction. So this transaction for lending is not put on by the client on a mobile app or a it is put directly on a trading terminal at the back end. So this has to be done at the deal flow that we do, trading flow. That is how this goes. It's a very simple product. SLBS पे कुछ नहीं होता है. Account पड़े हैं, lending होती है, and we just get it done. Okay. Then we have pre-IPO shares. Now, what happens in pre-IPO? 99% of the retail investor, what we do? Say, for example, there is Tata Technology. Iska pre-IPO aa chuka hai. It has come on its main listing. Now, what happens in Tata Tech is that it will be oversubscribed. Because it will be oversubscribed, even if you put 2 lakhs as maximum amount, you will not get, that means you will get less than equal to, say, for example, 16,000 worth of shares, even if you are lucky, because it is oversubscribed. Now, the point is, even if you apply and get 16,000 worth of shares, what would you do after? Even if it goes up by by 20,000 and now your value is 36,000, what tangible impact it would make? It might have become 100% returns, but the quantum of return is not tantamount to make any difference to me. You getting it? So what HNI does in this case is he doesn't enter into an IPO when the IPO comes. He enters into an IPO 6 months in a very short span to on an average 2 to 3 years ahead before. In OTC market, this is called as a over the counter private market. So private market may between wealth firms, between the ESOP holders or the wealth firms, we arrange shares for say HDFC Securities. Now there is HDB Financial, which is a loan arm of HDFC Bank, which is coming up with an IPO. The announcement has already come and the DRHP has already been filed. So HDB Financial is already available with us. HDFC Securities is available with us. Now let me tell you one thing. Chennai Super King is the only IPL franchisee that is tradable, that has having a shares in the private market. Now the beauty is, we will buy a share of LIC, but do you in a stock exchange? But do you know that LIC owns 7% of Chennai Super Kings? Not only that, if you go for DMart, who is the owner of DMart? Radha Krishnan Damani. He owns 3.4% of Chennai Super Kings. This is where they make 1x, 2x, 10x of the money. But this is a risky asset class. So if, for example, I have a 1 crore of the portfolio, I will put only 10 lakhs. And that too when I have been an equity investor. Because घुसने के वक्त everybody is कि भाई ये है, but you will need around a 3 to 7 year horizon for it. But you can also exit in 6 months, 3 months, and 180 days also. We have got that done. The point I am saying that when you're entering into a pre-IPO shares like old monk, Mohan Meekins, Chennai Super King was trading at around 16 rupees at 2019, had gone up to 230, is I believe 175, 180 if I'm not wrong these days. Reliance Retail is totally getting under a buyback. So it is only getting under a buyback. So it was there, people had invested, now the Reliance is taking it back. It's not letting investors have it. You buy us back, we are compulsory buying it back because they are totally 100% getting it issued as at an IPO. So therefore, normally we say that ki bhai, at a very positive note 1 to 3 years, but that doesn't mean, important point, that doesn't mean ki, say for example you have got into say for example HDFC Security. That doesn't mean you can sell it only after 3 years or 5 years when the IPO hits. You can sell even it in between. And these companies also pay you dividends. These are again in your trading account only. They pay you dividends. They give you bonus. They give all those things. Other companies that are here in it are Philip Appliances. You have Kurlon. You have Hero Bikes ka Hero FinCorp. You have Studs Helmet. STUDDS, Studs Helmets, and many other. You also have Bira Beer, but it is a worst company. You have a Bira Beer also. It's the worst company. Not recommended. There are 100 companies, but we suggest only top 5 or top 8 to invest into. Yes, you have a 1 crore of the corpus. Please keep 5 to 10 if you want to invest into and really want to have. So if you want to get into IPOs, go into a pre-IPO route so that you have a higher probability of making money. And इसमें quota system नहीं होता. You want to put 2 lakhs, you want to put 10 lakhs in the stock, you want to put 60,000 in the stock, you are free to do that. Okay. Now, another mantra in advanced wealth strategies is key people say, ki, okay, I have a stock, but I don't know when to sell. So now there are investors that do a couple of things. First thing, one of the investors says, ki, bhai, I always sell. I always sell at 15%. As soon as my return hits 15%, whether that is 1 month or 1 year or 6 months, I sell my stocks. It is his philosophy. Because he was so much confused about it. And it was way back in 2015, I was having a conversation with the investor. So he was a very sound investor and a very old investor. So when I said, how you decide to book profits? Rajat, I have understand one thing. I have seen my stock going up from 100 to 500 and then going back to 30. So what I have done simply, whenever I invest, I made 15%. I come out of it thinking that let other person also make money with it. And this also has given me sanity and also gives me peace of mind. So this is one thing. The another more logic and more professional way of looking is when to sell is, say for example, you are invested into, say for example, Sun Pharma. Now, Sun Pharma has given you a return of around 35% in last 1 year. Okay. Now you are not able to decide ki whether I need to sell this or not. Now, again, it can go another 35 or 100% for me. We don't know it. But the point is, you have an urge कि भाई मैं क्या करूँ, रखूँ या बेचूँ. But if you are in that dilemma, then you can do one thing. If you're any stock having 35%, then you will see what alternative investment option you are having. What alternative investment option you are having. Say, for example, you are saying that I am having Suzlon. And since I am having Suzlon and government is on renewables, policies are on renewables. Sun was at 20 rupees or 40 rupees. Now I've gone to 65 rupees. Now I've gone to 80 rupees or whatsoever rupees. I expect it to go up by around 50% or it should get double in next 1 year. So if you think you can get any other better stock which will give you 50% better, that means if you're getting 35%, next year you're not getting 35, you are say getting around 40% returns or 45% of returns. Go for it. Similarly, if it is not 35, if your Sun Pharma is currently giving you 15% returns, but if you have got Suzlon, and if you think, not a recommendation per se, but just given it, because then there is RVNL, Tithagard and all those things. But if you think that it can give 25% returns, go for it. Simple. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing, you're already booking the profit now. You're already putting the profit. So you need to go from one, you need to scoop your profit. Otherwise, you will leave the profit onto the table. Again, the first rule to create the wealth is to save tax. That is the reason why I've talked about the tax loss harvesting. So again, tax planning, this is the tax loss harvesting I've given it, just a pictorial representation of it. You have made capital gains, book your losses, reduce your tax bill. Khatam. No rocket science. Then now you also go for bonds or FDs. Now, when you go for FDs, you have to do the cash income laddering. Any financial goal that you are having within 5 years, that could be marriage, that could be education, or that could be etc. or car. Say for example, just because interest rates are at the all-time high. Just because interest rates are at the all-time high and markets have also peaked up. Because markets have peaked up, so it's matlab there will be volatility. Aaj market upar hai, tomorrow it will be lower, so on and so forth. Now, if you have a fixed goal coming up anywhere between next 2 or 3 years, and interest rate, FD interest rates are also all-time high, simply go for fixed deposits. So if I may say that Shriram of corporate deposits might be giving on a cumulative basis for a 5-year FD, maybe if I'm not wrong, is 10.25% or 10.5% cumulative. It will be around 8.75% on annualized, because there is a quarterly compounding. So therefore, I will rather, and also you have another option called as the Bajaj Finance, because HDFC has already merged with the HDFC Bank. So therefore, what I'm saying that, so you can put this. Now you can also do one thing. So if you don't know, you might be needing some money in 1 year or 2 years. So you can put bond or FDs in, say for 2 years. If it comes in 2 years and you do not need it, you come here and put it here. Then you can extend it to say next 3 years or 4 years. Now this bond, this was for 1 year. So let me put it this way. Now this was for 1 year period. This was for, say for example, 2 year period. This was for 3 year period. Now when the 1 year bond period got matured, you invested here. So it became fourth. When this got matured here, you invested it here and you elongated it. Because even if the rate of interest cut would happen this year, it will be only 0.25%, not more than that, as far as India is concerned, because US is not quite confident in cutting the rate of interest. So unless until US doesn't cut the rate of interest, although Canada has cut it twice, repo rate, but the US has not. So India will still continue keeping the rates high and going very slow on. So therefore, this is the cash income laddering. So you can cumulative your this. So rather than having only a one single FD for 5 years, so you can plan it this way. कि भाई ठीक है, I can have the major part. Say for example, say if I have say 10 lakhs, I can have 6 lakhs here. I can have 3 lakhs here, and I can have 1 lakh here. Say for example, this way, so that you are able to capture maximum yield. Your objective is to capture maximum yield with no penalties. That is called as a cash laddering.